I swear, Tennessee cannot have nice things to save their life. And Nico Iamaleava just played himself. As from now on, he's going to be called Nico, I'm leaving you. So, in the world of college football, as you know, thanks to the NIL deals, a lot of players are always on the movement. It's the Wild Wild West. It's the NFL, like for real. You see players entering the transfer portal right before the playoffs, right before the bowl game, sitting out because of the draft, and you just see the quality of college football just gone downhill as of late. Now, this situation is a little bit crazier for the simple fact that Nico waited till the day before the spring orange and white game to decide to enter the transfer portal. You mean to tell me that not once right after Tennessee got beat by Ohio State in embarrassing fashion, you didn't think, hey, maybe I should go to the transfer portal? I understand you negotiating for more money, which, by the way, a pay raise for throwing 19 touchdown passes is crazy. And to be quite frank, most of Tennessee's wins weren't due to Nico. Don't get me wrong, he had some big throws in certain games against Alabama, for sure. Kentucky, yes. But most of those wins was due to Dylan Sampson and that Tennessee defense. The Tennessee defense was holding most opponents under 20 points a game. So most of that was on the defense, not Nico. Nico played average at best. He did have some good games against weak teams, but other than that, it didn't warrant a pay raise. He was already getting paid $2 million a year on the NIL. I think it was $8 million total, but $2 million a year for 4 years, and you could adjust it based on performance and so on and so forth each year. He wanted to negotiate and get more money, which is part of that greed. It's like now it's like players are just going to different schools just to see how much money they can get. They'll get a check here, get an NIL deal, then they'll bounce, go somewhere else, do the same thing, so on and so forth. And most of the time, you don't even hear from these players anymore after that. It's like, oh yeah, the only news you hear is, oh, he transferred to this school, he transferred to that school, and that's it. They ain't really do shit at any of them schools. They just collecting a check. And it looks like that's what Nico's doing, and he's hurting himself in the long run because NFL teams can look at this and be like, oh, that's how you operate, huh? Okay. Yeah, try that shit like the Deshaun Watson shit. Try that shit. Try to force your way to another team or just don't show up and all that and see how that goes. So, yeah, he costs himself millions in the future unless he plays up to a higher level at, say, Oregon, UCLA, or wherever he ends up on the West Coast. And to be quite frank, there were some clues already there that he was going to transfer. I know, like right after the Ohio State game, he had some IG stories and some tweets where it showed like different schools, him thinking, like the thinking emoji, and it made you wonder for a second. Some people were panicking, some people noticed it, but a lot of people and a lot of reporters just brushed it off. Oh, he just wanting attention, wanting more NIL money, which true, he did want more NIL money, but still, and shit, the nigga last name literally spells out, I'ma leave you. So shit, the signs were there, the clues were there. It is what it is. That is Tennessee football in a nutshell. We cannot have nice things for a very long time at all. And yeah, I was doing all this talking, didn't realize I was supposed to be reacting to a video. So let's get to that.
Morning. The decision comes a day after Iamaleava surprised coaches and teammates by not showing up for practice. Sources said Iamaleava was looking for more NIL money. He is expected to enter the transfer portal when it opens next week. The Volunteers hold their annual spring game today, in fact, in a couple hours. Let's welcome in Tennessee alumnus Paul Feinbaum. Okay, Paul?
I want to pause that for a second because Josh Heupel, I'm glad he did that and said basically we're moving on from you, because it was set a bad precedent in the locker room. I know, college sports are scripted and all that, but there's still cultures and different things and real aspects that still play a role in that. And in 2022, Tennessee dealt with this with jealousy with Hendon Hooker and Jeremy Banks over NIL money. And that kind of deteriorated the locker room for a little minute too. So had they given in and gave them more money, it would have sent a bad message to the locker room. Culture would have been fucked. So I am glad that Tennessee said, hey, bye. Because, I mean, he didn't warn it.
The floor is yours. What's your initial reaction to Tennessee's decision to essentially let Nico go?
I think the fans that I talked to yesterday afternoon, Shay, agree with this. It is the right call. And it's the right call because they've already been held hostage to a degree by Nico and his people. They went to bat for him about a year ago. They fought the NCAA, who wanted to rule him ineligible because of the recruiting. And they stood by and they kept his eligibility. They gave him a chance. And by the way, he helped to reward them by helping Tennessee get to the playoffs last year. But the bigger story here is beyond Nico. This is an inflection point in the history of college football. This is the first time in this NIL era that we have had a literal holdout. Happens every day in the NFL. It's never happened in college football. He was expected to make about $2.5 million, and while people are seeing their 401s crash right now, he wanted more than that, reportedly as much as $4 million in Tennessee.
Time out, nigga. $4 million, you tripping. You were tripping. You got your goddamn mind. $4 million. Nico, you ain't worth all that, bro. You ain't worth all that, my boy. You better throw for 5,000 yards next year, whatever school you play for. You asking for $4 million. Then I'll shut up. You better have 30 touchdown passes. Asking for that much goddamn money. That's crazy as hell.
What's interesting is he's not that great. I talked to various sources around the SEC yesterday, and I said, tell me where he ranks out of the 16 quarterbacks in the SEC. They said somewhere between 6 and 8. Tennessee saw the same thing, and that's why he is no longer on the Tennessee roster this morning.
Gotta love Paul.
Well, that's because he got greedy. He would have still been there if he just didn't ask for more money. Because Josh Heupel likes to develop quarterbacks. You see, Joe Milton at one point started, then lost his job to Hendon Hooker. Hooker, we know, did his thing for that 2022 year after the 2021 taking over. Joe Milton still got another opportunity. Didn't turn out too well, but shit. Heupel trying to develop quarterbacks. He ain't just hopping in the portal every single chance. But this one time, you need
now
to.
you look at this story, and I am certain that the next place that he wants to go is going to look at it as well. What are Nico's best options when the portal does open next week?
Well, he grew up in California, so you have to look to that direction. One interesting part of this is he can't go anywhere within the SEC. There is a new clause in the spring portal. You can't go within the SEC. Now, you can do that in the portal that ends after the season. So I would have to guess the West Coast. Obviously, there's plenty of places out there, Oregon, USC, natural places. But I wonder, Shay, how excited our school is going to be to deal with his representatives. And I say his representatives. His father's involved. He's got agents involved. This is a very nasty situation. It is.
Yeah, his dad is the one who got greedy in this situation. Let's be real here. And apparently Dan Lanning was the one who tipped him off. And I do find that interesting. It'd be funny if Nico did end up in Oregon.
It has left a stench across
that would be
college football.
Very interesting.
So I would say buyer beware.
When you look at Tennessee, they already lost their star running back. They lost their top 3 wide receivers. And now there's a question mark at quarterback. They were among the favorites to win the SEC. Where do they go now?
This is a body blow to Tennessee, which was already on the so-called cut line. They have Jake Merlinger, who is serviceable. He played a couple of games last year, but they don't really have an option. They may go into the portal themselves. They just lost a quarterback to the portal.
Yeah, they lost Gaston Moore, and they only have 2 scholarship quarterbacks. That's Jake Merck right there and George Mack. So Tennessee is really reeling at quarterback position. Yeah, every other position. They got some studs at wide receiver coming in. Running backs should be good as usual. They need to fix the offensive line too. Hopefully they did that. But yeah, that quarterback position going to have to get dealt with. Apparently Jake is more comfortable in the offense than George. That's good, but still redshirt freshman. And George is a straight-up freshman. Both of them can run too.
But ultimately, I think what this is going to do for Josh Heupel is buy him a little bit of time. The fact that they said no to Nico, I think will give him a lot of support. He's already gone to the playoffs. He beat Florida and Alabama last year. He's in very good shape. But if this season does not go well, I think Tennessee fans will look at that and go, okay, at least you did the right thing.
Yeah, give him a little bit more leeway. In 4 seasons under Josh Heupel, Tennessee is ranked 2nd in FBS in total offense and points. Paul, we appreciate it. Thank you for the breaking news on a non-football Saturday. See you later.
Yeah, and we're probably going to see more holdouts in the future. I hope more schools actually stand firm in this situation, because like, sure, I'm all for players getting paid, but to just strong arm their way to any school and do all this, I ain't with that. You see how the NBA turned out with players having all their power and shit. So I hope college football don't get too far to that point that they holding schools hostage. Players, that is. Time will tell. Like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell. We out. Oh yeah, before I leave, DJ Lagway outperformed Nico last year, and Lagway didn't even play a full season. Let that sink in.